Alright, welcome back to the sim, everyone. Today we're going to take a flight from Okayama to Matsuyama. Figured, now that we've finally figured out what our problem was with the Blackshark, the wireless headset here, let me switch my view. We're going to actually be using 3 different views today for this video. This view that you're already used to with the sim cockpit gauges, the Volanta map, and the sorry, beyond ATC, and then with the simulator up top. We're also going to do 2 different views. One that you've seen in another video. Here's the remote cam view. Hi everyone, you guys can see me from over there. And then my chest cam view, which is another video that I've done, but I've figured out how to actually get both of them up and running here. I do have the watermark still here. I haven't really decided if I wanted to buy it yet, because I do need to pay separately for my iPhone, which I'm using for the chest cam, and then I'm using an Android phone for my remote cam at the moment, which means I have to pay twice in order to get that unlocked with the watermarks. So for now, forgive me, just still trying this out, seeing if it's worth it, or if maybe I could find another iPhone lying around here that I could then just mount and use that with one license instead. Alright, that said, let's go back into our map, and let me pull up our sim brief real quick. In just one quick second here, let me go and turn the air conditioner up a little bit because it is a bit hot in the room today. It's 33 degrees outside today here in Tokyo. Alright, let's go ahead and pull up our sim brief. Yeah, let's just edit the flight. Okay, so what we have planned for you today is the Okayama to Matsuyama route. Yesterday we tried doing a video from Hiroshima to Matsuyama, and it was just too short, and the air traffic control on the Beyond ATC ended up routing us way too close to Matsuyama, and we didn't have a chance to actually get down in time. So today we're actually going to do a little bit of a longer route, and it's more straight lined rather than a zigzag S that we were trying to do. So with that said, let's go ahead and generate the flight. And we'll go ahead and load that into our flight sim. RJOA to RJOM. That's not right. Let's go and change this back. There we go. RJOB to RJOM. We'll go ahead and view the flight. Import route. Okay. And there we go. So now our flight is loaded into the flight sim. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and I want to set us up at, I think it's gate 2 or 3 here at Okayama. Ooh, we've got multiple gates here, which means we might actually have some slight issues when we try to use this. Let's try gate medium. I think that's the right one. Alright. Just want to double check. I'll go ahead and reset it once if it's wrong.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
Looks like the position is correct. Just wait for everything to load up. I think this is right. Let's just jump into the cockpit here. Shift C. And I just want to turn on GSX real quick. We should be able to tell whether or not boarding works. I think it's working okay. Let's step outside real quick. Let's make sure that our I don't think the stairs will work at this point because we don't have power on. Alright, So very first thing we want to do, let me go ahead and change the camera for the remote view for you. We'll go ahead and turn the battery on. And we'll go ahead and turn ground power on. Set the IRS to align. Get that started. Go ahead and turn on the left rear fuel pump. Get APU started for you.
Boarding requested.
Cabin utils on. Emergency exit lights to armed. Logo light on. Position set to steady. Wing and wheel well lights on for the inspection outside. Alright, I think we're looking good. Alright. And it looks like my Stream Deck is not functioning yet, so let me go ahead and open that up here. And just make sure that Axis and O's is running. Here comes Stream Deck. And there we go. It's up and running. Okay. Let's go ahead and then set our camera up to our EFB. Let's go ahead and get the route data in from SimBrief. Okay, that's loaded. Just change ourselves to the performance tool. We'll need this in a second. Let's go back to the FMC. We'll have to set up our IRS position, so we'll go to pausing it. Go next page. GPS left. No, we don't want the tug yet.
Do you want to board crew?
Sure, why not?
Crew bus is coming.
GPS left is already loaded in. We'll go previous page, set IRS pause, go route, and then click on the flight plan request. There is our SimBrief route, and we'll go ahead and load that in. And in the meantime, let's switch back to the map view for you. We need to get the Volanta set up. So we've got our aircraft detected. Let's add a flight plan. Import that same one from SimBrief. And there's our route. Let's just zoom in real quick.
Starting.
Looks like I'm the only one here. I'm going to go ahead and launch Beyond ATC. And if things go correctly, there's going to be something really interesting that I can show you in a minute. Let's see what happens here.
Crew boarding starting.
Alright, looks like it came through. Now, previously, for all of the ATC injected aircraft, or AI injected aircraft, that Beyond ATC was actually pumping in using the FSLTL models for me. In order to see them, I had to click on this little globe icon, and that would actually launch the Beyond ATC traffic map. And as you can see here, yeah, there is this API key required issue that's happening now with the latest version. I did see a post on the Facebook forums. One of the developers over at Beyond ATC had mentioned that they're working on this. Looks like the map provider actually changed the way that their APIs requiring a key, and therefore there's this watermark that's showing up. So this part can get a little bit annoying, and therefore let me just make sure that, let me zoom this in a little bit, make that full. So you could see other aircraft that were being injected by Beyond ATC in here. It does give a little bit more information, like the type, the state, where it's going from to where, what SID it's flying, star it's flying, and the livery that it's using for that particular aircraft, and where the altitude is. So we can see that there's two aircraft sitting next to me. One is this Japan Transocean Air, or JTA. That's this guy here. Put the mouse over it, we see JAL 240. And that one's going from here in Okayama to Tokyo, Haneda. And then it looks like there is, I'm going to say Tiger Air. Yes, Tiger Air 214. This is a Airbus A320, and that one's going from Taipei to here. So that one actually just arrived here, over here. So this type of information was actually fun to see when we're flying in the sim, because then you can see if there's somebody that you're following, or someone that's kind of landing, and you want to see like who they are. You can actually pull up that information here. Now, of course, with the API key required, the map looks like a mess at the moment, and so I really haven't been using this. But right at the same time, I just noticed that Volanta had a new software update, and in there, I had missed it in the release notes, but then when I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, why are there purple airplanes showing up on my Volanta other than me? Because usually I'm the only purple aircraft in here and everything else is blue. But what we see here is the newest feature, or one of the new features of the latest Volanta version, is you can actually see the AI traffic on Volanta now, which is absolutely amazing. Now I can use the one map that I'm using here and then take a look at other aircraft that are flying around me. Obviously, it doesn't give us the level of detail that the Beyond ATC map gave us. However, this is good enough for me. I think that this is far better than what we've seen before, because previously I had to... the only thing that I could actually have on was the Volanta traffic. I didn't want to really see all the VATSIM stuff, because I don't fly VATSIM. As you can see here, there's a whole bunch of other planes that are flying right now, and these ones should be injected from our AI traffic, which is great. So when we're doing our takeoffs and landings, let's say if there's somebody landing and you need to hold short of the runway, then we can actually see who they are directly on the Volanta map. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and disable the Volanta, and then I'm just going to have the AI traffic on.
Passengers buses home.
Okay. So we're just doing a repositioning flight. As you noticed, there's only like a few people, maybe 5 or 6. Those are supposed to be representative of airline staff.
Welcome aboard ANA, a member of Star Alliance. This is a code-share flight with our Star Alliance partners.
I'll let the cabin attendant
Captain in command
finish
of this
the
flight
announcement.
is Naoki Komine, and the chief purser is Mira Aoyama.
We'll go ahead and load the route.
Please let us know if you need any assistance,
Passengers
and we
boarding
hope that
started.
you enjoy your flight with us. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and activate the route. Execute. Go to performance initialization. Do the perfinite request. Meantime, let's go ahead and get yaw damper turned on. And what else? Let's see, window heat on. Let's show you the overhead, just so we can see what we're doing. Check the overheat test. Looks fine. Cycle these and turn those back on. Let's get our probe heats turned on. Working our way down. Hydraulic pumps on. And everything else looks okay at the moment. I'll also set our no smoking and our fastened belts. Close the guards on these. Alright, let's go back to our FMC. It's ready to load. Let's get that loaded in. Okay, we just want to make sure that the data that we're looking at inside our FMC matches what's in our filed flight plan. Cost index 65 today, that looks right. And our zero fuel weight is 93.2 pounds, K-pounds. That looks correct. And our gross weight we're showing is 102.4. Slightly off. I think that's our takeoff weight. And I think that looks correct. Our cruising flight level today is 140. Actually, it's incorrect. Or it is in correctly this time. Not incorrect, but it is entered in the way that it's supposed to be. Finally, for the first time here. Cruise winds are showing 260 at 20. I haven't taken a look down here yet, but I'm guessing that's correct. All right, and let's get set for departure. Let's go to the departure arrivals index. We'll go to the departures page, and let's go ahead and then tune in first to the ATIS so that we can get the altimeter for the airport.
Landing and departing runway 07, transition level 140. Advise on initial contact. You have information X-ray.
X-ray.
Okayama Airport information X-ray 0727 Zulu. Surface wind variable 2 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds 2,000 feet. Scattered 3,000 feet. Broken 16,000 feet. Temperature 30 degrees. Dew point 24 degrees. QNH 1010.
1010.
Landing and departing runway 07. Transition level 140. Advise on initial contact. You have information X-ray.
Okay, we'll set 1010.
Okayama Airport information X-ray 0727.
Information X-ray. And who are we talking to? This is Okayama departure. Okayama departure, on Nippon 5541. We're at gate 3 and looking for IFR clearance to Matsuyama with information X-ray. I think we're at gate 3.
All Nippon 5541, Kansai departure. Clear to Matsuyama Airport via WASU to departure. Runway 07, climb by a seat to 7,000 feet. Squawk 3665.
Okay, clear to Matsuyama Airport via the Washu to departure, runway 07, and we'll climb via SID to 7,000 feet, squawk 3665 on Nippon 5541.
All Nippon 5541, readback correct. Push or start at pilot's discretion. Hold for release. Report holding short runway 07.
Okay, we'll push and start at our own discretion, and we'll hold for release. We'll report back to you once we're holding short of runway 07, on Nippon 5541. Okay, so let's go back to our FMC. We're going to be taking off on runway 07. So let's change our view back to remote so you can see the FMC here. So we're on departure from runway 07. We do not have a SID today, do we? Oh, yes, we did. Washu 2. Sorry. Washu 2. Go ahead and execute that. Go back to our departures and arrivals page. We'll go to now the destination and take a look over on our map here.
おはようございます。この飛行機はスターアライアンスパートナーとのコードシェア便です。
She already did. She already did the announcement.
は青山でございます。
Okay, looks like we're going to be landing on runway 32, so I don't think we have an ILS on that, so it'll be an RNAV 32. Is there a star today? Kikuma. Yep, Kikuma star. Perfect, so we'll be on a SID out, star in,
Welcome aboard ANA, a member of Star
and we'll go to our
Alliance.
legs page.
This is a code share
Just
flight
checking
with our
if there's
Star
any
Alliance partners.
discontinuities. It doesn't look like there are. Perfect. Let's go ahead and set our fix /14, 10, and 5.
Enjoy your flight with us. Thank you.
Okay. And our cruise altitude was 140 for the first time. It's actually showing 140 over here, which is great. Don't have to redo that. Let's make sure that we set the cabin altitude to flight level 140 and our landing altitude at Matsuyama will be 67 feet, so we'll set our landing altitude to 100. Alright, let's go back to our init ref, go to N1 limits, let's go back to our EFB now, and under the performance tab, just going to zoom this in just a little bit more so you guys can see this better. Alright, runway is 25, sorry, 07. Import from aircraft, import from OFP. I'll get the weather in here. Runway conditions are dry today, so we'll leave that as is. Variable at 2 knots. Calculate. All right. Cell temp today will be 61 degrees. Let's change this remote again. 61 degrees, and we're going to be using a takeoff 2 D rate, climb 2. N1 is showing 84.8. I've got 87.1. This is way off. Now, one thing I did notice is that when my glass cockpit is not working, it seems to have this issue. No, it looks like everything's there. All right, what are we missing? Looks like our N1 is different. Why is that? Everything else looks right. Let's just double check. We'll import everything else in and then see if our speeds line up or not. Actually, they do. Okay, go next page. Our runway winds are variable at 2. I'm just going to leave that alone. Runway slope is minus 0.01. Set that. And go back. Runway conditions are dry. Alright, calculated V1, VR, V2s. I'm getting 118, 119, 123. I have the same here, so we'll go ahead and load those in. And I think we're done with the EFB. Go ahead and turn that off. Okay. Let's go ahead and set the parking brake. Alright, and yaw damper is already on. Let's go ahead and switch now the APU generator onto the bus. Okay, set the remaining 3 fuel pumps. We are not using the center tank today, so we'll just go with the bottom 4. Turn off cabin utils temporarily as we start the engines up, and I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and actually, we didn't have to call in for the push and start. That means we'll have to manually call ground. Let's do a ground call. And on our side, we're going to have to go ahead and release the ground power and unset wheel chocks. That'll close the door for us. I believe we're done boarding. Oh my god, how many bags do we have on this ferry flight? Oh, it must have restarted boarding. That's what happened. That's why the cabin crew was doing that announcement a second time. Okay. Looks like the gate here is broken. I have to figure out what's wrong with this, because they should not have boarded via stairs. There's a jet bridge. A perfectly functional jet bridge here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and speed things up here. I'm going to go ahead and say complete. Alright. In the meantime, let's go ahead and set up our autopilot. I said 7,000 after takeoff. Squawk 3665. Alt reporting on. RTO set. Let's turn on the MFDs. Let's take a look here. Okayama Airport is actually really nicely rendered. This was freeware that I downloaded from flightsim.to. I believe this was made by Kaze. Originally for FS 2020, and then I just imported my entire scenery library into 2024. See if we can get that undercarriage view. If not, we'll do it manually. There we go. lift up our tires for us. And we are... Which way are we going? Let's double check the map here. 07's on our left. So, nose left. Okay, release parking brakes. Okay, let's go back into the cockpit. We'll turn APU bleed on and anti-collision set to on. Start engine 2 to ground. Really beautiful scenery out here. Okay, let's add fuel to engine 2. Okay, and let's go ahead and start engine 1 set to ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now explain the safety features of this aircraft. So could you please have your flash?
And N2 coming up to 25. Let's go ahead and add fuel and then into engine 1. Let's go ahead and set parking brakes.
Following safety instructions.
Please place your baggage in the
Okay,
overhead
let's go ahead and set
compartment
flaps
or
to
under the
5.
seat front, and do not stack items on top of each other, as they may fall out. Nothing should block the aisle or exits.
And we'll just get through our checklist here.
Return your seat and table
Let's check 6-pack.
for takeoff and landing.
Air conditioning is showing, and yes, that would be right. Let's go ahead and set engine generators onto the bus. Let's go ahead and disable the APU bleed, open our left and right packs to auto, ISO valve set to auto.
Use of electronic devices that emit radio waves is prohibited.
Wing and wheel well lights off.
Please turn them on or set them to airplane mode.
Okay. Let's do our flight controls check. Okay, elevator.
Smoking and the use of all smoking devices is
Aileron.
prohibited in the cabin, including in the aisle
Right
and
rudder.
lavatory.
Left rudder. Okay. Everything looks good there. Let's go ahead and set our trim. Trim today is 4.49. Let's just manually correct this here.
Oxygen masks drop down. Pull a mask towards you.
There we go,
Place it over your
4.49.
nose and mouth and breathe
Alright.
normally.
Okay, check. Stab trim set. Cockpit door is locked.
Remove your own mask.
Takeoff
and then
briefing
put the
reviewed.
oxygen mask directly onto your
And
face.
before takeoff checklist complete.
Put the elastic
Alright.
band over your head and adjust
You
it
might have
until
also
it
noticed
bends.
I'm actually wearing a new pair of gloves here. These are my driving gloves that I
In an emergency,
picked up recently
brace for impact.
for my car. However, I realized that I need to break them in, and I fly my simulator more than I actually drive my car nowadays, because it's really, really hot outside. So I'm using this to kind of grip and break them in. They're a little bit big. These are the Reparo driving gloves. I always wanted them, but they were kind of expensive here in Japan, but much cheaper on Amazon. Problem is that you really can't, guarantee yourself a perfect fit. So these are a little bit big. Trying to shrink them in. I used a hairdryer last night just to see if I can use warm water and then make them a little bit tighter, but they're still a bit loose. I think for summertime this might actually work better for me because it lets me breathe a little bit more. It's not clinging directly to your skin, so it's actually a lot more airy and a little bit more comfortable. So you can actually use these for piloting as well. Alright, engines are started, and I think we are going to taxi at our own discretion today.
Slip the life vest over your head,
Flaps are set,
fasten the buckles,
everything looks
and
good.
tighten
Let's
the
go ahead and
straps.
make sure that we set our engines set to continuous.
Inflate the life vest at the
And
door
taxi
or on
lights
the
on,
wing by
turn
pulling
off
the red
lights
tabs
on.
down.
And I think everything else is
If you
set.
need more air, blow into the
Alright,
delete
APU off. Cabin utilities back on again so
Please
that
look
they
at the
can
safety instructions card
make
in
coffee
your
for
seat
everyone in the back. Okay, let's go ahead and release parking brake. And N1 30%.
If you require assistance or have any questions, please
Looks like they
contact
do
the
kind of
cabin attendant.
push us back a little bit too short here. I'd have to reconfigure this parking spot. The whole thing was kind of broke, so... Oh boy. Alright. It's going to be a 07 takeoff today. That means we're going to have to turn right here in a second. Let's go ahead and stop once here at the hold bars. Set parking brake real quick once. Let's just make sure that our traffic rings are turned on our ND. We're set at 10 miles range. Altimeter is set at 1010. I want to do before we enter, let's turn off the MFDs just to declutter ourselves. We'll go ahead and set our TCAS to TA only so that we have traffic advisories of any aircraft coming in, and there is why we do that. Let's go back on our map. We will see the power of the new Volanta software. Here it is. So there is a 737 landing right now on our runway. Had we just gone in and started to backtrack, we would have run into these guys, which would not have been good. So let's take a look over here. I wanted to go outside, but I wanted to go outside to the other view. Let's go to the drone. Oh, there he is. Hi there. And that is why we turn our TCAS on before we enter an active runway. All right, let's get out because they're not going to be able to get in. So let's release the parking brake. And I don't think we have anyone else that's going to be landing on us. All right. Let's turn our position, strobe, and steady on now that we're on the runway. Check left side, just make sure he's down there making his little turnaround. Okay, so we're going to backtrack here. Just going to keep my Volanta here on wide mode, just to make sure that there's nobody coming. Obviously we can see them on the ND as well if there was someone else landing, but I just want to make sure that the other guy has a chance to get off the runway. You know what? I just realized, I think I might have made a mistake. Volanta says that there is a taxiway that's running all the way outside, but... hold on. Did I do something wrong? Oh. Okay, that's my mistake. There was a taxiway. I completely thought that this was a backtrack airport. So that's an error on my part. Let us then get off of the runway. And get back out onto the taxiway. My apologies. That is an error on my part. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our position back to steady. Check right side. Oh, no one's there. Check left side. Nobody there. Yeah, this airport's kind of funky. They have a bunch of lights in the wrong place. So it almost looks like we're going to have to run over them. Scenery off to our right is actually really pretty. If I remember correctly, there was a river running along the right-hand side here. Okay, let's go ahead and slow down. Yeah, you see these taxi lights are just, one, they're protruding out. Like they just want to pop your tires. And then two, they're not set in the right place. Either that or the double yellows are not painted in the right place. Alright, let's go ahead and stop at these hold bars. And then let's call in to the tower again. Conside departure on upon 5541. We're holding short, runway 07, requesting departure. Clearance.
Only on 5541, release for departure. Clearance void is not off by 8:15 Zulu. Is not off by 8:15 Zulu. Contact no later than 8:25 Zulu. Time now 7:56 Zulu.
Okay, we're released for departure, and understand clearance will be void if we're not off by 0815 Zulu, and if not off by 0815 Zulu, we'll contact you guys back. Time now 0756 Zulu, so clear for takeoff on upon 5541. Thanks. Alright, release parking brakes. Let's turn our position light back to strobe and steady. Set our TCAS now to full TARA. Check right side. Check left side. No one's on the active now. Okay, let's hold down the brakes and throttle N1 40%. Okay, stabilized. Let's go ahead and set takeoff thrust. Okay.
Rotate.
Yeah, rotate.
Positive recline.
Gear up. I realize my flight directors are not on. Set V now. Flaps 1. Conside departure on upon 5541. With you, we're passing 3,000 for 7,000.
Only on 5541, on-site departure. Identified, climb to 10,000 feet.
Okay, climb to 10,000 feet on upon 5541. Okay, set command A. And set LNAV. And no, we do not want to turn left. You turn right. Just gonna use heading select real quick here. Flaps up. Let's go back to our Volanta and zoom out a little bit here. Switch our view back to map mode so you can see. Terrain on my side, weather on your side. Okay, over to Kobe Control on 133.8, all Nippon 5541, so long. Kobe Control, all Nippon 5541, we're passing 8,300 for flight level 100. Climb flight level 140 and QNH 1010, all Nippon 5541, thank you. Could tighten the turn a little bit here with 30 degrees of bank. Continue our climb to 14,000 feet. Just gonna tighten my turn a little bit so I can get to the tail of this curl. Alright, 10,000 feet, let's turn taxi, runway, and landing lights off. Engine start switches back to off. And set RTO to off. Zoom out to range 20. Okay, set LNAV. Should be on the intercept course now. Let's go back to our legs page and just reset Dango. And I'm going to go ahead and set our bank angle back to default 20. Cleared Kikma, arrival, runway 32, all Nippon 5541. Let's go ahead and check our approach refs. We'll go with flaps 40 degrees. And it's going to be an RNAV again, like yesterday. This will be interesting. It's going to be a very tight turn at the very end, if I remember correctly, because from Kikma inward, just double check. Yeah, Kikma, Hanro, and then there's these outer marker arcs that are being built here onto runway 32. So it's a little bit of a tighter descent, but that's why we need to make sure that our altitude is set correctly. So here we're seeing, sorry, I should have actually turned on the FMC for you guys so you can see. Here we go. So at Kikma we're supposed to be above 6,000, and yesterday we were still at 20,000 feet when the controller had cleared us for Kikma. So there was no way that we were going to be able to land at that height. So we will make sure that we do our altitude management going in there today. I think we should be okay, as long as we don't get any funny reroutings. All right, there we go. So it's a slight shift to the right, and then at Bambo, make a left. And it should actually be pretty straight for us. That's good. Just taking a look at the weather here on the first officer side. Doesn't look like there's any radar returns. Okay, we'll let you know. Thank you, on the pound 5541. It looks like we're showing a QNH of 1008. Let's go ahead and set that in there. I realize with Beyond ATC, if you say that Wilco, and we'll let you know when we're ready for descent, the AI picks up the word ready for descent, and then it starts the descent. So I'm trying to avoid saying the I think everything looks okay. Alright. It's nice and quiet. Let's go outside for a sec, since we have some time.
Starflyer 51, report ready for descent. Ready for descent, Starflyer 51. Starflyer 51, descent.
I've already officially put in a complaint with Beyond ATC for the new limited local free AI voice. It just doesn't sound appropriate for our particular region.
Korean Air 2119er, contact Kansai approach 125.3.
Contact Kansai approach 125.3, Korean Air 2119er.
See if we get a slightly different view than these. City of Fukuyama up ahead of us. Once we get over Washu. There we go.
Contact Kobe control 127.15.
Okay, over to Kobe Control 127.15 on Nippon 5541. So long. Kobe Control on Nippon 5541 with you at flight level 139er and holding.
All Nippon 5541, Kobe control identified.
Okay. Kobe Control on Nippon 5541. We're at our top of descent, ready for descent.
All Nippon 5541, descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Okay, we'll descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1008 on Nippon 5541. Okay, we'll go ahead and start our descent. Let's set VSD on.
Bohemia 619er, Kobe control identified. All Nippon 261 heavy, contact Kobe control 132.5.
Center 132.5, all Nippon 261 heavy.
All Nippon 5541, reduce speed 270 knots.
Reduce speed 270 knots on Nippon 5541. Okay, let's go into level change and manually set down our speed. 270 knots.
Air China 858 heavy, Kobe control identified.
So set speed brakes to armed and do 50% speed brakes. Otherwise, we're never going to get down in time.
Seaway 331, descend via start to 4,000 feet, QNH 1009.
Descend via start to 4,000 feet, QNH 1009 at T-Way 331.
All Nippon 628 heavy, clear the Shima Romeo arrival, runway 16 right.
There we
Clear
go.
the Shima Romeo arrival.
Descent profile
Runway
looks
16
really
right.
nice now.
All Nippon 628 heavy.
And we're holding at 270.
567 Kobe control identified. Seaway 331,
Okay, let's go ahead and
contact
set
Kobe
speed
control
brake back to
133.8.
armed.
Center 133.8, T-Way 331, bye-bye.
Skymark 018.
Let's do the descent approach checklist. Anti-ice off. Air conditioner and pressure set. Landing altitude 100, 100 feet. Altimeter set to 1008 hectopascals and check. N1 IAS bugs, we will set those as we then further slow down. We're now bugged at 270 as per air traffic control request.
Japan Air 695, passing flight level 287, climbing to flight level 300.
Okay, we're at 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn taxi, runway turnoffs, and landing lights on. Set engine start switches to continuous. And we'll set auto brakes to 2 today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing soon. Please take your departure indication and refrain from using your left foot. Thank you.
Over to Iwakuni approach on 126.2, all Nippon 5541. Thank you. Iwakuni approach, all Nippon 5541. We're at flight level, actually, at 8,500 feet, descending to 6,000. Alright, let's VNAV ourselves now.
Information uniform current, QNH 1008, expect the RNAV approach, runway 32.
Okay, we'll expect the RNAV approach for runway 32, QNH 1008, all Nippon 5541.
Air Busan 134, increase speed 190 knots. Increase speed 190 knots, Air Busan 134. All aircraft be advised information return our current, QNH 1008.
Let's take a quick look at our map view again. Alright, so we're going to be flying over Kinoe, and then down to Itsuki, left turn to Kikuma, and then from here, it's just a blank line, but we're actually going to swing out further past Mount Takanawa, and then make our base leg into our final, coming in from southeast into runway 32. One of the things with the Volante that most people don't know is that you can actually see a three-dimensional view of your actual flight plan or flight path that you've actually flown. So that's actually pretty nice. Unlike Google Earth, where you would see maybe colorized, it is by default just set to one color, so most people don't realize it unless you actually accidentally tilt your mouse with the right mouse button. But recenter. Okay, we're holding at 6,000 feet and a speed of 242. Gonna have to actually slow down. Our decel point is just ahead of us. Go ahead and just set the speed brake back to armed position for now. We'll engage it if we have to use it. I've got terrain set on my side because there are some hazardous obstacles off to our left here. You can start to see them on my navigation display. We almost did run into some of the hills yesterday, and we had terrain warnings since we had to kind of fly by the seat of our pants to get ourselves down for a proper landing altitude at the speed. Coming up on Itsuki, and our speed is decreasing nicely. We should be at our target of 218 knots at Itsuki. We're slightly above that, but I think VNAV is getting us down there almost in time. At Kikuma, we want to be at 190 knots, so it should continue to bring us down just above our flaps 1 speed. Maintain 6,000 until established, and we're cleared for the RNAV approach, runway 32, all Nippon 5541. Okay. So we're at 203. I have not had to use the speed brakes, so that is a good thing. Still holding 6,000. Yeah, in this case, though, I'm a little confused because we're not on our final. This is going to be a weird swing back. Do we announce that we're actually established on the final here? Because we need to descend to 4,000. Right? That's the part I'm a little confused on. Unless we hit approach mode now, and then it'll actually take it. Great. Let's go ahead and drag a little bit and slow ourselves down. I'm just gonna report that we're established. All Nippon 5541 established on the final approach course. I mean, I guess we are. Although we don't have the set ourselves for how far down do we want to go? Set it to 67. Set it to 100. Yesterday, though, we did actually have the RNAV capture with the green indication, but I don't know if we're going to get that today. Okay, flaps 1. Oh yeah, over to Matsuyama Tower 118.35, all Nippon 5541. Thanks for your help today. So long. Matsuyama Tower, all Nippon 5541. We're at 3,400 for landing on the RNAV approach, runway 32. Gotta be careful with these hills right there. Clear to land, runway 32, all Nippon 5541. Let's get the gear down. We need to drag some more. Otherwise, we're never going to get down in time.
2,500.
Okay, flaps 2. Okay, flaps 5. Okay, coming up on flaps 10. Flaps 15. Final landing speed will be 121 knots. Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Flaps 40. There we go, there's our green single channel, indicating our RNAV capture. We are at our landing speed now, 121. It's a little hard to see, but I think the runway's in sight right in front of us at our 12 o'clock. No, it is not. I take that back. It is actually off to our 1 o'clock position. There it is. Runway in sight. MCP speed, LNAV, FAC, and glide path mode. Alright, set speed brakes back to armed. Engine start switches are set to continuous. Yep. 6-pack check. Okay, recall, no cautions.
1,000.
Check. Speed brake is armed. Landing gear is down. 3 green. Flaps set to 40. And green light. You know, for a small airport, though, this the frame rate's actually been kind of juddery today. Very strange. Yeah, switch our view back to here again. Let's get it down to 500. Check. Taking manual control.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 30, 20, 10.
There we go. Okay, set reverse thrust. Normal reverse. Okay, manual brakes. Alright, exit right at Alpha on Nippon 5541. Somebody around? Somebody behind me, huh? Oh, yes. Sorry. I think that was also a controller miss there too. I mean, it's just way too tight. Alright, landing lights off, engine start, switches back to off, position set to steady. Auto brakes set to off. And let's go ahead and turn off our transponder back to altitude reporting off.
From now on, you can use electronic devices that emit radio waves.
Matsuyama Tower, Onlypon 5541, requesting taxi to assigned gate.
Out of consolation for other passengers.
Only on 5541, taxi to stand 3 way alpha.
ANA, Jet Airways.
Taxi to gate 3 via Alpha, Onlypon 5541. Let's just make sure that GSX has our gate. And it does. Perfect. Seems like Matsuyama Airport's not that busy today. Got no aircraft sitting here. Then again, with these smaller regional airports, I think you'd be lucky if there is actually an airplane here when you come to the airport. They're typically very empty. Like Toyama Airport, I was really surprised. It's been really dead since the peak of the inbound tourists coming in from Korea and Taiwan and China. You're lucky if you actually saw an airplane sitting there. Okay, we're coming up on spot 3. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi and turn off lights off and make our way in. Apologies to Air Busan for making you guys have to go around. Okay, let's get our telescopic view going in a second here once I straighten out. Okay, it should be straight. Let's go ahead and take a look. It's almost perfect. Let's just get that nice and going. Perfect. Right. Let's go ahead and now we'll request shutdown. Set wheel chocks, request ground power. And ground power is available. Let's go ahead and switch that. And cut engine fuel. Anti-collision off. Just go ahead and start the disembarkation. Am I getting the horsey dance? It's always fun to watch this. Thank you, sir. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish taking care of all this. Logo lights off, position back to off. Everything else is off lights wise. Hydraulic pumps off, probe heat off, and window heat off. Let's see, recirc fans off, left and right packs off, ISO valve open. Let's see, no smoking sign and packs seatbelts off, emergency exits off. Moving back. Cabin utils off. Yaw damper off. Turn IRS back to off position. Looks like all of our switches are now back at our default states. Okay. Let's take a peek outside. And here we are at Matsuyama. Just out of curiosity, let's
Crew.
yeah, sure, why not?
Crew to boarding starting.
Just out of curiosity, let's go back to our map mode. I want to see if that poor guy that we sent around is coming back. Where is that Air Busan? Is that this guy, ABL? One thing is that it doesn't give us the flight path. So let's see. We go back over to this guy. Let's see if we can find him. That's FedEx. That is a different aircraft. Where is he? This guy. Here he is. Oh, come on. There he is. That's one thing I don't like about this view is that if it goes beyond the page, it won't actually show you the tag anymore. So I have to keep zooming out. There we go. Air Busan. Going around behind ANA 5541. Oh, they called us out. But that wasn't really my fault, though. I mean, that was just way too tight, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. They might beg to differ. However, in all fairness, I think that the air traffic controller should have slowed him down a little bit so that there was a little bit more separation between the two of us. All right, anyhow, again, thank you so much for sticking around with us today. You got to see finally the Blackshark working the way that it was supposed to. The actual reason for all of that glitchiness that you were hearing on our previous video was the what do you call it? The 2.4 gigahertz hyperspeed receiver I had plugged in directly into a USB-C port on the back of my computer on the motherboard. But that area there is pretty tight with a whole bunch of other USB hubs connected there for all the flight sim gear, and because of that, I guess there was just noise being picked up. The same kind of thing did happen on the FMC previously, the wing FMC. This thing would glitch out, and I think a lot of owners of this particular FMC have also complained that the keys would work, but then the screen would go blank, or I think maybe it was the other way around. The screen was frozen, and then the keys wouldn't work. So this device is also quite sensitive, and that's the reason why. Actually, I can show you. I apologize for my not too pretty setup over here. I have the USB hubs set up like this. I have tags on everything, but you'll see that there's just one USB plugged directly into one of the front ports here, which is the FMC. I had to put it directly onto its own USB header, otherwise it was just picking up way too much noise or interference off of these guys over here. I do need to clean up the wiring a little bit. My apologies for that. And so yes, the solution for the Blackshark was also very similar with... Sorry, let me turn the screen back on here, and yeah, sorry, ignore this USB cable here because I'm just using the adapter. This is a USB Type A to Type C adapter, and I have... Oh, he's coming in. So I have that adapter plugged in directly in the front here, and that seemed to have solved my problems. Actually, before I close out the video, just clean up a few things. Sorry, let me move this out of the way. Several of you were actually wondering about what kind of setup I'm running down here. At the moment, I am using a Thermaltake. What is this? I think it was the Peerless Assassin 120. Picked that up, and with the LCD screen on the front, which is actually really nice. If you have this set up on a desktop, so you can actually see the numbers. I personally just use it to kind of take a peek just once in a while in case the temperature on the motherboard and the GPU and the CPU are getting hot. You can see here I'm still running the sim, and a lot of people have been wondering if this 80 degrees is actually safe or not. I'm running a 5800X3D, and that chip does run hot, and so that's pretty typical when I'm running the sim. If I were to disable the sim or just exit out of the game, I think it idles around 40, 45. So that's where that's at. And then for the graphics card, I am using the Taichi 7900 XTX from AMD. I know not a lot of people actually have this card. It's not very popular amongst the flight simmers out there, but there are a few that actually use the 7900. And I think the big reason for that is having the 24 gigs of VRAM is the reason. All the other the GeForce cards that I looked at, there were only 16 gigs. And as you know, Flight Sim is kind of a different beast in and of itself, where VRAM is king, since you need to load in all of your objects and scenery. And so, yeah, that's my setup here. And then I also had one viewer asking about this light that I actually installed. This is a tape light that I had picked up on Amazon, and I wish I actually had all the parts so I could show you, but basically just drilled a hole. I could bring the camera around over here. You can probably see. Sorry, this thing doesn't focus very well. Yeah, see if I can do tap focus. There we go. So there was a little hole drilled into the glare shield part, and what I did was I just kind of took the tape light that had a sticky backing on it, and then just guided it all the way down the length of the autopilot panel, and just cut it. And I think it was, did I say 58 centimeters? Trying to model it after. Let me switch back into the cockpit here. I think we might be able to see it from this angle. Let me see if I can crouch down. Let's see. There we go. It's a little hard to see, but let's see if we can get rid of this guy. Come on. Main panel. Yeah, backlight. Flood. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Let me change the time so it actually looks a little bit more correct. Let's set the time to like nighttime. There we go. So I tried measuring the length of the tape to be roughly the same, so that the tape would end right around the meters button here, and then likewise over on the right hand side. Supposed to line up with the FPV. So from there all the way over to here. I did make the fatal mistake of, because the tape light's actually pretty narrow. Originally I drilled the hole on the back side, and I put it along the back here, and what I noticed is that none of the knobs on the front were actually lighting up. So I ended up re-drilling a new hole, kind of almost close to the front lip, and then putting the tape line on the front. What that does, though, is that you'll end up seeing the LED kind of blinding you like this the whole time, and that's not how the actual one in the cockpit is set up. And so what I did was I found a piece of foam that it was like a tape backing foam, and I ended up just cutting it into segments and then putting that on the front. It just happened to be like the same color. Look look at it from the side here. So there it blends in with the plastic, but what that does is rather than having the view look like this the whole time, at my eye height, it actually looks like this. So it looks diffused. And I think that's really the effect that we're really trying to go for when we look over here. So, yeah, they're relatively cheap. I think it was about $15 for a 1 meter roll of the tape. And then just cut it down to 58 centimeters and then just tape it on there. I just have it hooked up via USB. I do have a dimmer on it, so actually it does come with this little controller. Sorry. And it allows me to just manually set it. I don't have this hooked up to MobiFlight, so the brightness control. Sorry, why is this not focusing anymore? There we go. I have it set up to these buttons here, so you can set the brightness manually like this. 5-stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the dimmest. You could go even dimmer. I do have another dimmer hooked up to it back here. This guy with a little rotary dial on it, which allows me to go even dimmer than that. So this is a manual dimmer, and then the 5-step is what kind of comes by default on the controller. So let's say we set it to this. I think this actually looks better. It's good that I actually touched it, because now the brightness looks almost identical to what we see over here. Let me turn down. Let's see. Turn that down. So the effect looks very similar to that. All right, anyhow, thank you so much again for stopping by and watching the video. If there's any other flights that you want to see here domestically within Japan, please let me know. I'm more than happy to accommodate and create those for you. And until next time, then, I bid you guys farewell and have a great week. Actually, weekend. It's Friday today. All right, catch you later. Bye-bye.